I guess out of everything in this budget, the most troublesome, the most worrisome, and worst of all is the fact that we're relying in over $1 billion in new taxes and fees in order to balance this budget. And that's, I think any economist out there will pretty much tell you that the absolute worst thing that you can do when you're in a recession, particularly a bad recession like we find ourselves in right now, is to substantially increase taxes. Madam President, this budget is loaded with taxes. 25% increase in the sales tax. Big problem. Beacon Hill Institute came out, said 12,000 jobs you're going to lose. It's going to have a ripple effect all the way through the economy. 12,000 jobs, boom, gone.
$51 million in investment.
$51 million in investment, gone. That same study. New alcohol tax. You can't even go for a drink nowadays. People are going to end up seeing that tax. It's going to go right down to the consumer. I'm sure people have heard from their package stores. And again, when we talk about people taking off to New Hampshire, at least where I live, it's not that far of a drive from the town of Wakefield. You just jump on 93, you go right up 93 to that first New Hampshire State liquor store, and you buy your liquor without having to pay that sales tax. Very attractive for people. A lot of people already do it because they run up there for their cigarettes. When we had the cigarette tax, everybody said, oh, this is a great thing. We're going to raise all this money. But what we did is a great thing for New Hampshire because, you can go up to New Hampshire and save about $25 on a carton of cigarettes because you don't have to pay all the taxes up there that you have to pay down here in Massachusetts. New satellite TV tax. We're extending, I guess, the sales tax to satellite TV. There were so many taxes in this budget when it passed the Senate, I didn't even realize that that one was in here, but that's a real whopper. And a lot of people feel that sort of discriminates against people. And there's nothing that irritates me more than when you get your phone bill, and you look at your phone bill, and you look at all those little taxes. You didn't make any long-distance calls or call directory assistance, or and you don't really have services, but yet your bill is astronomical on your phone bill, or even your electric bill, the same thing. And you start looking at it, it's all these little taxes, use tax, this tax, that tax, and it all adds up when, the bottom line, and your bill usually is pretty big. Well, that's what we're doing for the satellite TV people. Over 100,000 people in the state that have chosen to go with satellite TV rather than cable. We're going to really sock it to them, and they're going to end up with another little fine print at the bottom of their bill. No problem, we'll just pass it on to them. Could we, in a state that is in pretty bad shape right now, retailers across the state are crippled. I mean, talk to anybody who's in retail right now. So this tax increase is going to hurt them. The only other group that we could possibly say that, besides real estate, which I'm involved with, which hasn't been good, the only other industry that's probably doing worse than retail in the state and real estate is restaurants. Go talk to any restaurant owner, and they'll tell you that they're one of the first casualties anytime there's a recession. And given the severity of this recession, a lot of those neighborhood restaurants and community restaurants are barely hanging on. And the last thing that they need is not only to have the sales tax or the meals tax go up 25%, but also they get a double whammy because local communities, on top of the increase, are going to be able to throw an additional increase on top of that. And I'd point out that the members of the Minority Caucus did fight that here in the Senate, and we tried to make sure that if a new tax was going to be levied, it was levied by the people of the community, not just the selectmen or the city council, but that the community actually got to vote on it, and we were voted down when that came up. So now, if you want to go out to eat, in a lot of communities in the state, 7%. So we're really going up, 2 whole points on the sales tax for restaurants. So this should, for the people right on the edge, particularly, I guess, again, for restaurants near the New Hampshire border or wherever, this might just be the thing. It's like hanging on the cliff and the state just went over and stepped on everybody's fingers, and those restaurant owners will probably go down the tubes. New poll tax on telecommunication companies. This is how we're going to go after the you know, again, you're going to see, you're going to get your cable bill. If it isn't high enough already, there'll be a little fine print on the bottom that pretty much says, you know, an additional tax that's going to get passed on to the consumer. Then when we're done with the tax increases, we go to the fee increases. Registry of Motor Vehicles, $80 million in new registry fees that are included as part of this bill. So we're giving the registry pretty much free rein, go crazy.